The ringing endorsement to China's stand on Xinjiang. Ambassadors of 50 countries have written a letter to UN Human Rights Council chief backing China's actions in the Uyghur Autonomous Region. While several European nations have questioned China over its alleged human rights violation in the Xinjiang region, 50 ambassadors have praised China for its efforts. Early on July 12, 37 ambassadors, including envoys of Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, sent a joint letter to show their support for China, and now more ambassadors have joined the move to sign the letter, which China says is a validation of the reality of Xinjiang.
Personally, I was impressed because the news I heard about Xinjiang before I get there were totally different. So I saw a region which is well organized and the people are very kind.
They issued some a strong message, a strong signal. In many of them, they paid visit to Xinjiang. Seeing is believing through their own eyes. They find what was the real situation in Xinjiang, and they highly appreciated the great efforts and achievements made by the local people, try to stabilizing the situation.
In what seems to be a clear shift in global realpolitik and poles of power, the letter also urges a certain group of countries to stop using unsupported information to make unfounded accusations against China. Several reputed global media agencies and rights groups have claimed that up to 1 million Uyghur Muslims are being held in illegal captivity across Xinjiang in what are termed as re-education schools. These schools aim to instill the right values among the radicalized. Those who have escaped claim brainwashing and psychological torture, including engaging in practices contrary to Islam. Over to the UK now, where the new British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned the European Union that it must renegotiate the Irish backstop deal, else he is ready to take the UK out of the EU without a deal. Boris Johnson, who has rejigged his cabinet with leading Brexiteers, cautioned the EU that it must strike the backstop out of the withdrawal agreement for any purposeful negotiations.
Get rid of the backstop, whole and entire, then we're making a lot of progress. That would be my answer. And as for whether my friends across the channel are warming to me, well, I've always had very good relations. I'm sometimes slightly mystified by some of the obiter dicta that I read, and some of the off-the-record commentary that I see. I have very friendly relations. I've with other EU foreign ministers already, and with EU leaders as well. And we will build on them.
The backstop is an insurance policy designed to prevent the return of border controls along the 500-kilometre land border between Ireland and Britain's province of Northern Ireland that was ended by the 1998 Good Friday Peace Agreement. UK voted to leave the EU by 52% to 48% in a June 2016 referendum, but Northern Ireland voted by 56% to remain in the EU. After Brexit, the frontier between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland will become the only land border between the UK and the EU. During the Brexit negotiations, both the UK and EU agreed that in all circumstances, no new physical checks or infrastructure should be introduced. If both sides apply different regulations and customs rules, then enforcing those rules might mean checks and controls. However, with a majority in the House of Commons set on blocking a no-deal departure on 31st October, this could create an impasse in which Johnson could declare an autumn election, an election which he will fight on the pitch of championing Brexit. Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar has not taken Johnson's hard line on the Irish backstop too. He said that a no-deal Brexit will fan the sentiments regarding the unification of Ireland and Northern Ireland.